Alright, welcome back, YouTubers. So we just got back from a successful catfishing trip. We've got a few catfish in there. I'm going to show you how to clean them. I've got them icing down right now. I find that icing down the fish helps firm up the meat. And for me personally, makes it a little easier to clean. The knife seems to go through it quicker. It's not as mushy and you're not tearing through it quite so bad. It gives you a better cut with a good sharp fillet knife. So, if you missed the video where we caught these fish, please find it on my page. Click the link in my description. Make sure you check out that video, footage of getting these fish and a surprise fish. We actually caught a long-nosed gar. So keep checking out the channel and make sure you see that gar video on a catch, clean, and cook style video. But if any of this stuff interests you, make sure you're clicking that subscribe button so that you can see all the content that we put out. But for now, it's time to clean some catfish. All right, and I'm gonna start with the biggest fish first, just because, hey, that's gonna be the easiest one to do in my opinion. And it doesn't really matter which side you start on, but it does make a difference. You'll find that if you're right-handed or left-handed, it definitely seems to be harder to do on one side than the other. At least it does for me. And another thing about catfish, a lot of times when they get cold or even are still living, these pectoral fins will kind of lock up. So I've seen a lot of neat things. The boards that people clean their fish on, they actually have a hole in them, and so whichever pectoral is facing down, let's just say this one wouldn't move, you stick that through the hole and it allows your fish to lay flat on the surface where you can clean it better. But this is a nice little channel cat. I'd say, you know, 1.5 pounds, 2 pounds maybe a little more. And what I'm looking for when I clean, so I've got my fillet knife here, but when I start the incision, what I'm looking at is if you feel right up the back of his head here, if you feel up the back of his head, I don't know if you can see it, I'm gonna push backwards on it. If you push down in the meat, it's really soft, and when you get right there, it's almost like a horseshoe shape where his skull is meeting into his backbone down the back of him. That's where I'm gonna start my incision with the knife and work my way right down his back. So, to do that, what we're gonna do here is I'm gonna take this knife point, I'm gonna stick it in right there in that incision. Now I'm going to bring this pectoral fin right here off the side of the cooler to let the fish lay flat. But I'm going to insert the knife there, and what I'm doing inside is I'm coming in a little higher than I know the backbone is with my knife, so I'm elevated. And that way the entire time I'm cutting, I'm tilting and I'm angling this knife down till I find his backbone. The reason that I do it that way, for me personally, if I try to start right here on the backbone, a lot of times what I'll do is I'll go through it or under all his bones and I'll wind up in the other side of the fish, and you know, you don't want to do that. So what I'm going to do is, after I've got that knife point inserted, you're not going to go very far at all, and you're going to begin to feel his rib bones, which you can see here in the sunlight, and definitely feel them. And so basically what we're going to be doing is I'm going to be working this knife in at a downward angle until the point of my knife I no longer feel those ribs, and that's when I'm going to go all the way through the fish and go down through the tail. So we're just going to start here, and I'm going to work my way in. I'm going to get some of that skin cut back, and then as I go in, feeling that bone, you can see the ribs are pushing. I'm going to open that skin up a little more, and right here I do not feel any more ribs in my way, and so my knife point's going to come right out the other side. That's what we want. Now as I fillet down to the tail, I'm angling my knife a little bit to make sure that I stay on that backbone, and then I'm just going to follow that meat right on out to the tail, just like that. Now, I'm going to flip the fish up, I'm going to open up his fillet, and then I'm just going to start. So you see here where I came in a little high? Well, we can still salvage some of that. We'll just come right here on the top. Well, we're not salvaging that piece. But we're just going to come in here, and we're going to find those ribs, and you're going to just slightly turn your knife out to where you follow those rib bones. You see them exposed here. You follow those rib bones all the way down the fish. Now, some people like to go around underneath the belly. This fish, to me, isn't big enough to have a lot of belly meat. I'm going to clip that free there, allow my knife to come back up to the top, making several slices to get down to where I'm seeing just the white skin here. Alright, then we're going to go through and work our way up. Definitely get that hand out of the way. Work your way up to the top of the fillet. Alright, so I'm on a little bone here. Get over that, and then plunge through, cut out. Nice catfish fillet. Same thing on the other side. Now what I like to do on the other side, since I'm right-handed, I'm actually going to flip this fish around and hang him off the other side. And here again, with my thumb, I'm feeling where this bone here, and I left a little meat, but I'm feeling where this bone intersects the backbone, and I'm going to plunge in right there, and then I'm going to work down that backbone at an angle. Went through the bones a little bit. All right, work down at an angle there. I'm not feeling any ribs, plunge through, and I'm going to bring my fish over here now a little bit where I can make this cut better, let the handle hang off the side of the cooler so it stays flat, and we're going to go straight through. All right, so now got that side done. Let the knife follow the curve of the ribs all the way down here. You'd think I hadn't done this in a while, but I've actually done quite a few of these lately. But it's nothing I've ever gotten a whole lot of speed at. But there you go, 2 nice catfish fillets. If I held that up to the sunlight here, you can see daylight through that. So, you know, I'm pleased with that. It's good enough for me. So we'll get all of these fillets knocked out. Gonna open the cooler up here, grab another one. This is a small guy. Same thing again. Now he's kind of locked up his pectoral fins, so I'm gonna find that place with my thumb, insert my knife, get my little wiggle room here, make sure I'm over that backbone, down to the ribs, angle that knife down. You can hear it clicking along the backbone all the way down the side. Open up our fish, finish cleaning out the rest of this, letting that knife tip tick along those ribs. Finish out the bottom, up the top, fillet. Same thing again. Now I could definitely see on a small fish like I have here where a shorter fillet knife might actually be a benefit doing this side, just because of how far away the point is from where my hand is. You know, you've got less control the longer the knife is because you're further away from what you're trying to move. All right, now let the tail get off the side of the cooler. Let that one get away from me there. So we'll try to salvage a little bit of that meat on the end. We'll get this guy knocked out. Not gonna let it ruin our video or bother us. All right, I think what happened, this ridge of the cooler here caught my tail. All right, we're gonna take that. Now look, since that peeled over with the skin flap like that, we'll actually just come in here. We'll get that little nugget of goodness off of there. Throw them in the cooler. 2 left here. Cleaning these guys. Find the incision here, or find the place here, and run at an angle till it comes out. Follow those backbones down, the ribs down. Now we're following the ribs with our point. Make sure you got a good sharp knife. It definitely helps. Now you might see the name on my knife here, and if you do, that's fine, but I'm not going to tell you what kind I got because I'm actually planning another video specifically about different fillet knives, and we'll save that information for them. Is that recording? Or the battery die? Is the screen on?
Screen's on.
Good. Good. We got battery and y'all are seeing what's going on. Alright. So you can definitely tell that offside from my hand, the left hand side of the fish looking straight down on top of him. I definitely have more trouble filleting that side. That's the second one I've left part of the tail when the knife came out. Got that one, another fish out of the way. And we weren't going to go home empty-handed, so he made it onto the stringer. Fortunately, got a few more to go with him. Straight out the back there. A little bit of fat on the top of this one. I don't know if you can see in the frame, but there's a darker yellow meat. Highly suggest if you're cleaning these out and going to cook them, cut away the yellow. Cut that yellow portion off because it is not good eats. Alright, so we just got our last fish cleaned up here. We're going to take all these fillets back that we got. Sorry we lost camera right as we were working on the last fish, but we're going to take all these fillets that we got out of that, and now we're just going to get the skin off. So I like to start with the tail section first. Sometimes you've got your pointed part like this, your knife will leave some of the skin as you come up. But start down here, and what we're going to do, just hold that down the best you can, and start your knife under there, and it's just a combination of pushing with a knife and pulling with your offhand. If you can, hold on to the fish. The flatter the surface you've got to work on, the better. But there's the skin off of that fish. There's a nice catfish fillet for us. And we're gonna get that done to all of these fillets. Get them in the refrigerator in some water, and we will see y'all again in the next video. Sorry everyone, every single camera battery we had all decided to die all at once, and we weren't able to finish recording that last clip. But hey, we hope you enjoyed this video. If you want to see more videos like it, please click that subscribe button, click like, comment. It helps our videos pop up first when you start to search. And be sure to check the description for any links to our other videos, and check out our upcoming video for a gar, catch, clean, and cook. We'll see you on the next one right here on the J-Line.